as soon as I get stuff back from her, which I'm hoping is today, I'll email another one out for you guys with the current quizzes updated. Good. So, am I happy?
Yes.
Yes, I'm happy. Give me one reason why I'm happy. Interpret this. There's a research article. As a matter of fact, a research article probably wouldn't have all this in it. Probably would just have this in it. But tell me why. It's just pure descriptive. This is not 244, it's 243. Give me one point of reference as to why I'm happy.
The mode is 100.
Well, the mode is 100. That was nice.
The average is 96.
Actually, the average is 86.
Oh.
That's mu.
Yeah.
I called it mu, I hope you don't mind, because you're my population of interest. So your average is 86, but what the hell is this? You have to go back to 243 for a box. It's like I just flushed all that out of my memory. Which quartile? It's the second, which we usually call the median. Median 96. Median 96. Yeah, we usually call you got the fourth quartile, third quartile, second quartile median, first quartile, and then the mid down there. And I can't explain the zeros. I have no idea what happened there, so I'm not going to try. So anyway, outliers, and then we got the minimum. And you remember how the outliers are calculated with a box plot? You take the interquartile range times 50 and stack it. Yeah. So these guys are just outside of that range. Very compressed up here. I'm very stoked about the median being 96. It means half of you got 96 or better. Yay. That's freaking awesome. Again, more variation on the left side, which is indicated. I couldn't put this on top of this. The program I was using wouldn't let me do it. I like having this on top, but you can hopefully see how it's stacked up and how it looks like it's like a pure exponential curve, basically, which is awesome. I mean, as long as it's on this end, right, and not this end, which it wasn't. And you can tell that by the very, very negative skew. Extraordinarily negative skew. Negative meaning the average is left of the median, which is what we're getting at here, Veronica. If you take the average and take the difference from the median, we get 10 points. And then you weight it using a standardized measure of the standard deviation, you end up with that crazy -3 essentially skew. Percent mode's one I made up. It's the percentage of those who got the mode in the class. So 4% of you got 100, so roughly 1 in 4 people got perfect scores. Yay! Not that you have to get a perfect score, but that's the first time that's happened. I made a percent mode for all my... It's a new statistic. It's the plurality percentage. So it's mode... What's the mode again? Again, 243. Right. It's the highest occurring. It's the plurality score. It's the one that happened the most. In 243, I asked them to say it a different way. They said it's the majority. I'm like, it's not the majority. If it was the majority, that would be over 50%. But it is the most occurring data point. And sometimes it's only separated by a point or two. Sometimes 96 or 98 or 90 or 86, whatever would be the highest. Big sigma, really big sigma, 24. That's 24 points, right? Plus or minus from the average, which is kind of silly when you think about where the average is right now. But it's big. Why is sigma so big? Why is sigma so big? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. We often talked of S in 243, didn't we? S. That kid was like, what the hell are you talking about sigma? Big sigma is always big. It means sum things up. Thank you, sister. Little sigma is the population standard deviation. So we talk often of X bar and S in 243. Mu and sigma are the population variance of that. So this is the standard deviation. Why is it so big?
Because of the outliers.
You got a lot of outliers. There were multiple zeros, and I wish it showed that too. There were multiple zeros. Again, I can't explain them. I never heard from those people, so I hope they're okay. But because you have multiple zeros and the vast majority are up here, there's a large average distance between the average of 86 and those outlying values. So that happens. That definitely happens. So sigma's explained. I did the trimmed mean just to see if it did anything. It didn't. It didn't, because there weren't so many outliers to knock off those hundreds, I guess. Median 96, mode's 100. Oh, Veronica, yeah.
Does that trim mean that 5%
Trimmed mu, T mu.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing you guys did in 243 on that chicken exam with the egg production. Took off the bottom 5%, top 5%. 5% for you guys wouldn't be, I guess it's like 2 scores. So I think it's going to take off like a couple of the zeros and a couple of the hundreds, which essentially wouldn't change a great deal. Wouldn't change it enough to make them average that much different. So I could take off more, but then I'm sacrificing some of the data, and there's not that much data to start with. So, yeah. So there you have it. Stoked. Stoked. An exponential curve is always good. If you remember from 243, very often your exam scores look a little more like that, where the hump was a little bit lower, but I can totally live with a hump at 198, 96, that's great. Not to mention the fact that we'll have more hundreds, yes, because you can use the rainy day coupons to fix any points you lost, just like you did in 243. Remember the rainy day coupons? You know, that's okay if you don't. Well, Mike is like, what the hell are you talking about, rainy day coupons? So let's go out to the website real quick. I just updated the link. The link was nowhere near obvious enough originally. So I made the link better. So if you go to the schedule page, here's the normal schedule page. And this wasn't there yesterday. They were hidden down in week 3, I know. They were there last term and something happened. I lost that line of code. So if you click on this, there's 3 coupons living in there. One of them's a project coupon. Now that project coupon is a get out of jail free card. If you forget to do a project, you can turn it in 1 day late, up to 1 day late with that coupon. So if you don't use it, you get 5 extra credit points for not using it, which is why almost everybody in here, I think, right now has still 5 extra credit points because you haven't used it yet. Probably because you couldn't find it if you needed it. I apologize. It was hidden down in week 3. Now it's a little more obvious. So if you ever forget to do a project, what's your next project? Thursday. Remember, if you forget it Thursday, for whatever reason, I just told you about it, you can turn it in Friday, up to 24 hours late, with the coupon stapled to it, under the door of the office if I'm not there. So that's what that is. That's what the pink coupon is for projects. The exam coupon below it allows you to pick up 5 points on exam number 1, which you just got back from me. So if you want, you can correct up to 5 points. So if you lost 3 or 4 or 5, you can redo those and resubmit. Just make sure you do everything on the coupon, which is print the coupon off, staple to the exam, make corrections on a separate piece of paper, make sure they're correct. I had to add that. I think I told you why. I had to add the correct part. And then you have to write a couple sentences. What you did wrong the first time, what you learned by doing it a second time. Just part of the pedagogy. I don't want this to be dead. I don't want it to be a done assessment. Like, you got it back, yay. But you still learn from it if you missed a point or 2. And then finally, there's a rainy day quiz coupon down at the bottom. Most students don't use this until the very, very last week of the term, and that's why I say the due date is the end of the last week of the term, because what they do is they wait till the very end to see what their lowest quiz was, and then fix it. Because what that allows you to do is you get a 10 on a quiz you didn't get a 10 on. And some students just don't even bother doing it by the end of the term, because if their lowest quiz score was like an 8, doing the quiz might not bring their points up. But it might. I've actually seen grades go, from a B+ to an A because of that. So, of course, it's there for you if you want to use it. And because you're getting your progress reports every week from me, you can see how you're doing. You can see how the points would change if you added 2 here or 3 here or so forth and so on. Make sense? Yeah, good. Okay. Ish. All right. Good. So anyway, that's the rainy day coupons. I apologize for the link not showing up until yesterday. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but it disappeared. But it's back now. Ready to go. We are. Freaking A. Week 6. Stupid. And I don't think I have any more data sheets, Jolene. I'm looking around for it. These are quizzes. So if you don't mind just sharing for today, and then shoot me an email reminder to print more of them. Because I thought I printed one for everybody. I'm assuming I put them down somewhere and they got lost. So I will make more copies for sure, because I don't want you having to worry about writing that stuff down. Okay, well there we are.
Our quizzes last week haven't been great.
Correct. And as soon as I get them back from Em, I hope she's okay, and you're okay. I'll email a progress report out again with those numbers in. And you got quizzes for Wednesday or Thursday too if you want to do them. Oh, speaking of that, I'll say this on camera too. If you get stuck on the quizzes for Wednesday, first of all, don't overthink them. There's no math to do on them at all. If you've already done them, you know this. If you need more practice, if you're looking at that and going, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, you can go back and watch the videos from last week. But if you don't want to do that, you can totally go here and go into the set that's on Intro to Hypothesis Testing, where I have 5 more, I think it's 5 more articles. Gesundheit. It's 5 more articles in the analysis of those p-values, and it walks you through them as well. It kind of gets at the heart of what the quizzes are asking too. It also asked, I think it was Veronica's question about what if it's close to 5%. Was that you last week? What if it comes in close to 5? Somebody asked, I think it was Veronica. I have a question that actually answers just that in that set as well. Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff in there that you can dig into if you need more resources. Cool? And the trick with that one is the section doesn't exist. Like, I made up the section to go before what we're doing right now because I wanted to make sure you guys understood what a p-value was before we started making decisions based on them, before we started interpreting. So that's why you're gonna have a hard time like finding anything more than the definition of a p-value online, which is important, but it's also widely misunderstood. Next week I'm gonna design a quiz for you guys based off what we're gonna look at first here to make sure you understand fully what a p-value is, another way of looking at a p-value. So we'll get to that as well. So, cool? All right, good stuff, good stuff. Please, yeah.
Did we ever answer question number 7 on this?
Give the I think we did. Which one is that? Is that the flu?
Statistic, if it's correct.
Is that the flu one?
Yeah.
I think we did.